Welcome to Anime Out of Context, a comedy review show where a man completely immersed in anime culture torments his co-host, who is only allowed to watch the shows featured here. If you'd like to support the show, you can do so at patreon.com/animeoutofcontext. Alongside over 100 hours of exclusive bonus material, all episodes uploaded to Patreon are completely ad-free, even to non-patrons. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And Shaun is ready to hop till he drops.
I'm Shaun Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase.
Alright, Remington, I promised you something new this season that would be a genre you'd appreciate a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if there's one thing I know about you, Remington, one of the things you love is toxic yaoi situationships. Sorry, did I misread the mood?
Oh yeah, obviously, it's like my favorite genres: horror, mystery, toxic yaoi situationships. It's right up there, right? Just
hilariously, Rem, those are the three genres of this show.
Okay, all right.
Because, there's no real point in burying the lead here, Rem. There's only one show that's currently airing this season that has a good chance of, getting into your good graces from the get-go. Because this is a season filled with a lot of sequel seasons. Some long-waited, some brand new, and then a lot of the other new shows are the kinds of things that aren't immediately obviously going to be your favorite thing in the world. I think this show has the best chance of it, and it's a Netflix exclusive, which is annoying, to say the least, but it's not one that is locked behind Netflix jail at this time. I definitely checked, though I will say I've lost access to my Netflix account recently, so I haven't... I wasn't able to watch it on Netflix.
Man, we're a well-oiled machine here at Anime Out of Context.
Look, man, my parents stopped paying for it. What do you want me to do? Because, do you know how much they're charging for Netflix right now, Ren?
A bunch.
$36 for, normal Netflix, essentially.
Fuck.
If you want the version with ads and shit, it's, $8 to $16.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, it's predatory as fuck. But, hey, there are shows that are exclusive on there, so I gotta watch them somehow. And that mean...
That's why instead of, watching television or movies or anything, I've just taken up sailing.
Which is very hard to do in a landlocked state, but I appreciate your enthusiasm for the craft.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, Graham, the anime we're going to be talking about today is simply titled Hikaru ga Shinda Natsu, or The Summer That Hikaru Died.
Okay, alright.
Yes. And genuinely, this was the other show that
doesn't seem to bode well for Hikaru.
No. Hikaru's fucked. Hikaru is fucked.
I don't mean to make a bold prediction too early, Shaun. At risk of spoiling things. I think this Hikaru fella is gonna die.
Oh, man. It's very much, fuck. What's that show? Something dies at the end? Same kind of vibe.
John dies at the end?
John something dies at the end. I
think it's just John dies at the end.
John dies, is it? Well.
Also, I wasn't familiar that there was a show. I thought there was a book. Is there also a show? There's probably both.
I think there's a show.
John Dies at the End was originally a book written by Cracked Head editor Jason Pargin under the name David Wong. Then, in 2012, the movie adaptation of the book was released, featuring Paul Giamatti and a door that had a penis for a handle.
The things they have in common are they have titles that mention that somebody dies. It's not the most encouraging title. But this show is a little bit different. Because you're correct in thinking that things don't go well for Hikaru, but he is a main character of the story that is present throughout the whole story.
Okay, alright.
Problem is he does die at the beginning.
Okay, is he a ghost?
Not
Does
quite.
he become a ghost?
Not quite. So, essentially, Remington, this story is about Hikaru and our other main character, Yoshiki Tsujinaka. And Yoshiki is a wistful young man, and his best friend, Hikaru, went missing 6 months ago. Oh, sorry, I got the timelines wrong. Hikaru has been back for 6 months, but he went missing for a week and then came back, essentially.
Oh, okay.
Little different.
Yeah.
Went missing for a week, came back, and it's been 6 months, but ever since he came back, Yoshiki has just gotten off vibes from Hikaru. Things haven't felt right. But by all accounts, Hikaru just seems the same as always, makes the same jokes, has a lot of the same comments, talks to people as he would talk to any others, even seems to have, same distinct memories of everything. everything.
Yeah.
But as is the case with a lot of these stories that have BL undertones, he can just tell that something's off. And one day he calls him out on it. And, giving up the ghost immediately, there is some kind of eldritch monstrosity that has more or less occupied the corpse of Hikaru and is living through his life.
I mean, it's just, it's nice to have a relatable slice of life anime for once.
Very relatable. That's how me and Dylan met, actually.
Yeah.
And, it's a little bit unfortunate because this monster, having been found out by the one person who can, reveals itself and says, please let me just keep living this life. And also, I love you. And I really don't want to kill you. So yeah, this is a horror mystery, doomed yaoi show.
Oh, perfect.
And a lot of people are interested in it. And I could have saved it.
It sounds promising.
Yeah, and I could have saved it for Pride Month, but I want to emphasize you don't only have to watch queer shows during Pride Month.
Yeah.
And it's a show that a lot of people have already recommended, and people are like, hey, Rem likes horror, Rem likes queer people. In theory, this should be a show that he enjoys.
Hell
and
yeah.
I mean, like, a lot of great horror media is also great queer as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it's very much a show about Yoshiki doing what he can to maintain a relationship with Hikaru, quote unquote Hikaru. But, it's a little hard to grieve the loss of your friend when you're talking with them every day.
Yeah. Well, and it's really just the evolution of the age-old, would you love me if I was a worm? Would you love me if I was an eldritch monstrosity dressed in my skin?
And the answer apparently in this anime is maybe.
What's your answer to me, Shaun?
Ah, man. I just shook a magic 8-ball and it said try again later, so we'll have to revisit that.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I know, those 8-balls, man, they're super unreliable. I'll stick to the conch next time.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, no, it's a story about Yoshiki and Hikaru and their experiences and relationships and, kind of trying to figure out what's going on and, hopefully not getting killed by this thing. Because the current Hikaru definitely just seems to have, a strong desire to live as a human. Whether or not that's
Fair.
good or bad, you never know. Leave it up to the monster fuckers to decide, I suppose. Or, in this case, you're going to watch the first couple episodes and you'll be the one to tell us what you think is going on and if you think that this story is doing the premise justice.
Fingers fucking crossed, brother.
Yeah, so yeah, I think without further ado, we should just go straight into it. Let's go watch some of the Summer Hikaru Died. And we are back after watching the first 5 episodes of Hikaru ga Shinda Natsu, or The Summer Hikaru Died. So tell me, Rem, how you feeling about the doomed horror yaoi? You feel like that's got some places it's going, or are you just, like many commenters say, a bitter, hateful man?
Shaun, I'm starting to doubt with this your devoted adherence to the year's theme.
I beg your pardon?
Well, I think that it's well publicized, Shaun, certainly vocally by me repeatedly, that 2025 you've been throwing nonstop sawdust right into my eyes.
I mean...
Just 8 months thus far of nearly ceaseless sawdust.
Well, I mean, we've got...
Trash and garbage as far as the eye can see.
Okay, I mean, not everybody thinks that. Not everybody thinks that. There are quite a few people who have beloved shows we talked about this year.
Yeah, but I mean, let's be honest. All right, let's look at the hit rate for anime we've covered and my opinions of them for the most part this year. It's a pretty ass hit rate, which is why I'm fine to say that finally we are not just peeking out of the hole, rather we're jumping for joy out of it because we finally hit a good one, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, there it is.
We got him.
That's all it took was eldritch horror, toxic, doomed yaoi. That's all it took.
Yep. And I am gonna say, it is crazy that they straight up depict body horror gay sex.
Yes.
And that's not even a joke. That's just that happens.
Yeah.
That happens.
Wait, Rem, are you trying to tell me that most gay sex doesn't involve just reaching into an eldritch opening in the other man's chest?
It doesn't, but at the same time, just like was it Hitchcock who did the a couple kissing and then you see a train go into a tunnel? Was it him who did that? It's like we all know what's really going on.
Yeah.
We all know what is actually being depicted here.
Yeah, the art of subtlety wasn't really Hitchcock's foreplay. He was very he was very upfront about what is being depicted in his films. Like, so much so that the man would quite literally be like, all right, this is a bad thing is going to happen, and you're going to watch this movie in anticipation that the bad thing is going to happen.
So let's jump in and talk about it. We open up and really almost the opening scene. We have Hikaru. He's hanging out with his friend Yoshiki, and they're vibing. But we very quickly get the reveal. Hey Hikaru, I don't think you are Hikaru. I think something happened when you disappeared for a week in the mountains.
As things do.
As things do. And Hikaru, I'm gonna describe it as unraveling, and I'm not talking emotionally, though that's also to a certain extent is also true.
Yeah, no, the one who's unraveling emotionally is mostly Yoshiki. Like that's he's the one who's unraveling emotionally, whereas Hikaru is unraveling quite literally.
Yeah, and that's gonna be my description for just like whenever he does this. He just unravels pieces of him into their eldritch miasmic goo.
Yes. Is it string? Is it liquid? Like, what's going on? We don't really know. It's even more
kinda,
it's even freakier in the manga, let me tell you. Like, it's because animation does a lot of cool things, but there's just something about like a Junji Ito-esque horrific image, you know?
Yeah. And Hikaru was like, I didn't think you would know. I thought I was doing so good. But listen, hey, buddy. He gets in real close. He's like, look, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to kill you. So what if we could be friends? You and me, we got this. Just shut the fuck up. And we can be boys and it can all be fine.
It's
so, strong start.
Yeah, no, it's I would describe it as not healthy.
Oh yes. This depicts it perfectly balances throughout what I've seen an extremely unhealthy and toxic relationship while also eliciting sympathy for both characters. Which, considering a couple things that happen, is surprising that it's still able to do so. So we learn that Hikaru is having a great time being human. He wants to keep doing this, and he feels close with Yoshiki. And you know what? Yoshiki is like, yeah, that seems like a decent deal, if I'm being honest. Because look, he was crushing on real Hikaru. So like, this entity looks the same and for the most part acts the same. And at the end, like, look, he's real lonely. Yoshiki is so lonely.
Oh yeah, no.
He's so lonely and grieving, and what better thing to fill the Hikaru-shaped hole in his heart than a Hikaru-shaped monstrosity?
Yeah.
It fits perfectly.
Eldritch goo Hikaru-shaped monstrosity.
Yeah. And so they just agree, yeah, well, this is fine. This is fine. They go to school. We see a couple of the other characters and everything. I will say also, visually, this show, it's very cinematic, right?
Yes.
At times, it's pushing anime movie quality, which I greatly appreciate, where it's like the attention to detail and just the visuals, very often stunning.
Yeah, no.
And then very often weird and strange and fun.
Yeah, like the studio, and of course, when I say studio, I mean more specifically the artists within the studio, but the studio is Game Pictures, which we haven't really talked about too much, but they did make one or two seasons of an anime that you're very familiar with.
Oh?
Yeah, they made the most recent spin-off of Uma Musume.
God damn it. I was hoping you'd say like Pui Pui Molcar, and they'd be like, "Oh my god!"
No,
that's not.
Opposite end of the spectrum. Yeah, no, they only have 19 things under them, and most of them are related to Uma Musume. And weirdly, a very bad Blade Runner anime. But no, yeah, no, Hikaru. So to say that this came out of nowhere from the studio
Yeah.
definitely feels the case.
Yep. So, we also meet another character, Tanaka, I believe is his name, who is,
Mhm.
I'm gonna describe him as an exorcist. That feels appropriate. He's you look, he's the guy you call when
Shit's freaky.
spiritually shit's fucked and freaky. And him and his hamster, who's his partner in crime, they go around helping out. Back with our main characters, we see that Hikaru is just having a wild time being human, crying over movies that he has memories of because, the real Hikaru has seen it plenty of times. So this is his first time seeing this movie, like, meaningfully, properly. Cats don't like him, but he's like, I'm gonna find a way to befriend that. An old woman is, like, scared of Hikaru and is like, oh, that's weird. But then Hikaru and Yoshiki, they have a little heart-to-heart where it's like, hey, let's never leave each other. And they're all in on that plan because Yoshiki is once again lonely and grieving. Grieving is his best friend, who he also loved deeply. And Hikaru, has, adopted the real Hikaru's mental and emotional memories, and so that seeped in, as well as they emphasize this sort of like spiritual attachment, right? When you look at a spirit, when you give it attention and focus, they latch on, whether it's Hikaru or a different spirit entirely. And so there's also like an element of that going on. So we have a perfect recipe for very strong codependency.
And as we all know, that's a recipe for the most toxic relationships.
Especially when one of them is an abomination upon God and man.
Yeah.
So, it's like, oh, okay, that's how we end the episode with them vowing to each other. Except also, then a certain abomination upon God man may break into the old woman's home, who is scared of Hikaru and kills her. And it's like, oh, all right, cool, here we go.
Yeah, 'cause, that's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Into episode 2, of course, the town is talking about, can you believe that old woman died? That's fucked. One guy in their friend group is freaked out by the woods, so the group, which is Hikaru, Yoshiki, that friend, and 2 girls, they all go together, and there's some strange sight in the woods, but Hikaru defends Yoshiki by eating the spirit, which takes a bit out of him, but he's able to do it relatively easily, asterisk. And there's also like an interesting element here where it appears easy, but it also seems to take quite a bit out of Hikaru. And also, who knows how much of it is just sort of like bravado in front of your crush,
Mm-hmm.
Just like, yeah, I ate a spirit, super easy, bro. Man, could do that like 10 times more, but actually you're just like fucked up. So yeah, nice little strangeness now, but there's more spirits going around. It seems like when Hikaru came down, something about what happened that night and how it all went down let spirits go wild, and now they're running amok. Later, the like next day, they end up in the sports shack. The sports shack that every Japanese school has that's barely on school grounds. They're there.
Oh yeah, I mean, you gotta have it, because otherwise, how are you gonna have your exciting classic, oh no, we're locked in, what are we gonna do type of scenario?
To my understanding, it is just for illicit sex, murders, and creepy teachers. Or the fourth option is for misfit students to claim as a club with no supervision whatsoever. Those are the 4 options.
Yeah.
All of which seem very... it doesn't seem like the school would want any of those 4 to go down as they're doing. But that's fine. In this case, it's illicit sex. Because we get straight up body horror gay sex. Hikaru is like, yeah, the spirit is in here. He opens up a hole in his chest. If you're familiar with good old Cronenberg, you got an idea.
Yeah.
You got an idea.
Yeah.
And so
Bet you didn't think we were going to be talking about Cronenberg in the first half of this episode.
Yoshiki reaches in, apparently feels like raw chicken up in that bit. So he goes in, feels that chicken, reaches real deep. They're both into it. They're both like, it's uncomfortable and new, but they're vibing. Hey, it's a coming of age moment, all right? It's just your standard coming of age moment, reaching into your best friend slash crush slash abomination upon God man's chest with that feels like raw chicken and just, going shoulder deep into it.
Yeah, okay.
Feeling around for the spirits they ate.
Yeah, nearly getting lost in the madness. Yeah,
Yeah,
as you do.
It's how it always goes.
It's how it always
Tale
goes.
as old as time.
Yeah.
We all remember those deleted scenes from Sleeping Beauty. We all remember it.
Mm-hmm.
They do that, and Hikaru sort of like sucks him in a little bit further to spook him a little bit, right? It's just a prank, bro. Just a prank, bro. I'm not actually going to devour you into the void within me. And then Yoshiki sees this woman who's seems to be like a medium of some sort, and she's like, "Hey, don't get mixed with the bad spirits and whatnot. All right, don't get fucked up with all that shit." Episode 3, we get some memories of Yoshiki and Hikaru, where they share watermelons and have a good time there. Cut to the modern day, they're doing the same thing. Yoshiki gets a text from the medium woman, but Hikaru sees the text and he's sussy because he's an abomination upon God, but he's also just a jealous bitch, right? And so it's just like, why you text him? But he doesn't say anything yet. Yoshiki goes and meets that woman and is like, I should probably tell somebody because it's kind of a fucked situation. It's kind of a fucked situation. And so he does tell her, he's like, yeah, my best friend, my good pal, they're and so shares that, and the woman's like, oh yeah, that's fucked. So they talk a bit later on. When Hikaru and Yoshiki they chat and things are a bit tense, and so the tension grows, and eventually Yoshiki's like, "Bitch, you ain't even the real Hikaru," and Hikaru's like, "You talking to people? Who the fuck you talking to? Who you going to? What the fuck you doing?" So they argue, right? They have a spat, and then I'm gonna say trigger warning. I'm gonna put a trigger warning.
Mm-hmm.
If anything related to any of the many themes we've talked about may be triggering. Hey, a trigger warning, because so Hikaru he unravels and kind of attacks Yoshiki by starting the process of, I don't know, like possessing him, kind of, right?
Almost absorbing him into him,
Yeah, but also
there's a very strong allegory here.
Yeah, especially with everything else going on. He sexually assaults Yoshiki. That's basic. That's the underlying. That's, once again, just like body horror gay sex, this is body horror gay assault. And it is sufficiently fucked on multiple levels, even without the sort of other level there. Hikaru is able to stop himself and feels extremely guilty. It is like, that wasn't the way I should have handled that. Oh fuck. And they eventually meet up again, and Yoshiki is like, hey, I'm sorry. And Hikaru's like, you shouldn't be apologizing. I should be the one apologizing. I don't want you scared of me. Like, I want to take care of you, and I want us to be together, you and me, right? It's this, oh man, it's not that the apologies are toxic. The apologies are very sincere. It's just that you're like, hey, this isn't good for anybody, all right? Yoshiki, you need therapy, dog. You don't need
an eldritch copy of your best friend come back to haunt you.
Yeah, it's like, I know you think that's what you need. I know you think you need this monstrosity, but no, you just need therapy and friends. That's what you need. There's love out there for you, but this ain't what's gonna be best for you. Meanwhile, also, Hikaru, this isn't. You need to work on yourself, all right, Eldritch Abomination. Like, you're not gonna find a healthy relationship like that. Everyone needs to work on themselves,
especially with you being, a goop monster and everything.
Yeah, it's just you need to sort your shit out.
It takes a little extra work.
Yeah. There's one thing I haven't mentioned up till now, but I do feel the need to mention. Occasionally, in this very stylistic show, they will cut to Yoshiki's point of view, and he has emo hair, and they include the emo hair in all of his POV shots, and it is really fucking stupid. It's really dumb and bad. I can't remember when, but this has shown up at least once before, and I also ragged on it on this podcast and said it was dumb and bad, but I'm pretty sure that was for a show that was, like, generally dumb and bad.
Yes, it was.
And so it was like, Jesus fucking Christ. This one, it's not like another example of why it's dumb and bad. It's like, you're doing so great. What the fuck are you thinking here? Why? Why? It's like, I feel like something we all agreed, like, hey, it shouldn't do that. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. It's silly and dumb. It doesn't make me feel more immersed into his point of view. It makes me feel like I'm doing a shitty cosplay of Yoshiki, right? That's what it feels like. That's not the vibe. Episode 4, Hikaru was trying to befriend the cat that hated him. We learn that a girl in their friend group has some kind of spiritual intuition. We have a summer festival with Yoshiki, Hikaru, and Yoshiki's sister. They hang out, they have a good time, right? Things are going great until Hikaru touches a barrier created from the shrine and disrupts it a little bit, which sends a sort of like red alarm to the exorcist and his hamster. And so they're like, we gotta go now. Big spooky motherfucker just touched the barrier. So they show up, look around. They're expecting to see a giant fucking demon, but obviously Hikaru just looks like a dude, so they don't even notice him. They're like, it couldn't be hot. We should notice it unless it's a sneaky cunt. If it's a sneaky cunt, we're kind of fucked. We also learned that the exorcist can create more barriers by sacrificing an organ. So that's nice. Just more body horror. Let's do it. Let's go all in on this shit.
You might say there's a lot of like allegory and metaphor being used, especially when it comes to the physical body.
Yeah.
And oh boy, is it both good and horrifying to think about.
Yep. Yoshiki and Hikaru talk a little bit about, old real Hikaru. Yoshiki actually, the reason why he knew Hikaru wasn't the real one was because the night everything went down, Yoshiki went up to the mountains and saw Hikaru's corpse. It was like, oh, that's fucked. And then he went home and he passed out and he was fucked up. And then like a few days later when he was better, Hikaru, just walking around and you'd be like, what the, but I saw you dead. What the hell? And so that's how he knew. We also get at the very end of this episode a flashback to the real Hikaru when he was dying, and his sort of last thought and last words were that he didn't want Yoshiki to be alone. Very touching. I don't think this is what he had in mind.
No.
I don't.
No.
It's sort of a monkey's paw scenario, right? Where it's like, oh man, I hope they find someone who really cares about them. It's like, oh no, I meant like a person. I was, when I made that wish, I was kind of assuming they'd be human.
Yeah,
they'd be of this world.
And like, I feel like the automatic assumption was not me because I was dying.
Yeah. The assumption is, when I make such a wish that it won't be eldritch me.
Yeah, my flesh more or less being possessed by undescribable monstrosity that will forever obsess over him and, possibly reunite us in the afterlife, I'm not about that.
Shaun, let me ask you a question.
Sure thing, Rob.
If I died and was possessed by an eldritch abomination, would you keep recording the podcast with the eldritch abomination wearing my skin suit?
Well, that depends on if I know that's the case, because like...
You do.
Oh...
You're the only one who knows, unless you decide to tell people.
So a toxic, doomed podcast partnership, essentially, is what you're saying.
I mean, isn't that just us already?
I mean, yes, but... I like to think that you haven't invited me into your chest cavity, which I feel like is probably the best for our relationship.
Would you love me if I was a worm? Specifically, an eldritch worm wearing my own skin.
If I'm... Well... If I'm talking to you, Remington the man, right now, probably not. If I'm talking to an eldritch monstrosity right now, oh yeah, 1,000,000%. Of course I would. What are you, crazy?
Good to know. Your answer has been logged. It has been noted.
Look, I see what happens in this manga. You know, I've read it. I've seen the anime. Look, man, I know it's a bad toxic situation, but when the alternative is
Weirdly, I feel like there would be some people, right, at least thus far into the anime, who would feel uncomfortable with the idea that it's insanely toxic, and they'd be like, "Well, no, but I like them," and it's like, hey, don't get me wrong, like this show does a great job of eliciting sympathy even for the murderous eldritch abomination.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey, bud, every time he's on screen, I'm like, oh, he's so charming, I'm rooting for him. But that makes it more insidious, not less. And it can be like some shade of gray. But man, it's not one of the lighter shades. I'll tell you that right now. And just because you're charmed by someone and charmed by the idea of a couple and are like, I don't want this guy to be lonely, that doesn't mean that it's a good match, right? So I feel like there'd be not necessarily the majority, but a percentage I would feel disappointed in who would deny or push back against the notion that it's toxic, which is crazy.
Yeah, no, like, this is the purest distillation of, like, a toxic BL manga. A toxic?
Yeah.
A toxic BL manga. In like, the most blatant, but, you know, it's blatant but subtle, if that makes sense. Like, it's a pure distillation of that.
It's extremely blatant, but it does so magnificently with characters that you do care about, and that are sympathetic and interesting and charming, and so, like, you're like, oh man, but Yoshiki is lonely, and it is nice for him to have companionship when, you know, this Hikaru does care about him, and they have some nice moments together. And then certain scenes will happen, you'll be like, oh, oh no. This is wrong, and I was wrong for even momentarily being seduced by the thought that it could work. But just as the audience is seduced into almost wanting the relationship to happen and to succeed, right? So too is Yoshiki. Even more so.
Yeah.
And so in that regard, it is phenomenally impressive. Episode 5, we learn that a hair creature is haunting Yoshiki's home and scared the shit out of his sister. And it's like, oh no, that's not great. Cut to a cooking class where they're making a chicken meal, and Hikaru and Yoshiki flirt about how Yoshiki was feeling up the chicken and reminiscing.
So much meaning in a couple slabs of raw chicken in there.
You're never gonna look at raw chicken again.
No. Raw chicken,
you,
that toxic BL icon.
Can I tell you something, Shaun? This is not directly related. It's only indirectly related to just being, like, mildly horrific.
What a great caveat, but go on.
This is a genuine conversation I instigated with my lovely girlfriend.
Uh-oh.
It was a short conversation.
Yeah.
Because I had this visual, and I shared it as a nice little what if, right? And the visual is, what if someone, they go to a casino, they play the slots, they win the jackpot, but then instead of coins, just a bunch of slabs of raw chicken come pouring out. And this was a conversation I had before we covered this show, before we recorded part 1.
The worst part is I know and I believe you.
Think about the sound of all the raw chicken plopping out of the machine into expectant hands. And then just, like, at the top, you get the, like, winner chicken dinner. It's like, what the fuck did you expect? Of course that's what the machine would do.
And I bet her response was something along the lines of, sure thing, Rem.
Yeah, she immediately moved the conversation on.
Yep.
I was laughing my ass off.
Of course you were. This is
there's something about the visual. There's something that sincerely compels me.
Yeah, an anti-humor Rem type of visual image that would just get you laughing for no reason. And the people around you are just going to be like, You good, lad?
The sounds the chicken would make as they smack the bottom of the slot machine and fall to the ground. Oh my god. Anyway, that
You're
I wanted to
laughing
share
about
that.
it now, fucker.
It's true. I want to share that because raw chicken. I just want to ruin chicken for our audience. I want it so the next time our audience is making chicken, statistically, there's going to be somebody who listens to it while they're making dinner and they're making chicken, or they thought about making chicken and thought better of it. And now this will infect their brain, either this show of body horror, gay sex, raw chicken, or winner chicken dinner, slot machine jackpot, raw chicken. One or the other, either works. So, back to the show. So they have that bit of very strange flirting together. They have, which then transitions into more body horror gay sex, as it would.
Mm-hmm.
As
it so often does.
It's kind of like if you were doing like a pottery class, right? And started making a phallic vase, and then that made you hot and horny, so then you went and fucked your boyfriend. It's that, but raw chicken. So they do that. This time Hikaru touches Yoshiki back and sort of just like starts gooping up. Which they're both vibing with, but they also, Yoshiki's like, hey, that was unexpected, and we should talk about like boundaries and consent. They aren't that blunt about it, right? They talk around it, but they're talking around boundaries and consent, kind of.
Yes, if you know what to look for, that is what they are trying to establish. And once again, we have to emphasize this very toxic relationship.
Yes. And so Yoshiki is also like, Yoshiki learns that his sister is being haunted by a wig ghost, and so he mentions it to Hikaru, who is like, oh, I'll fucking handle that. So he goes to handle that. There's lots of waiting around by Yoshiki as Hikaru handles it. Eventually, Yoshiki hears the sound, goes in, sees Hikaru underwater, tries to help. As soon as he makes contact, the wig ghost taps into Yoshiki because he's vulnerable. We get this sort of fucked dream world with pulsating brain pillars and memories of a dead crow with Hikaru, and when they were young, they argued about whose fault it was that this sick crow that they were taking care of died. And I get it. Like, when it's tragic when your editor dies, and it's like, who was supposed to feed him, and it's just relatable.
The worst part is I came home from work today and he wasn't here.
Did you feed him, Shaun?
I thought I did. I try to very regularly.
Oh my god! I swear to God, Shaun. If this episode came out like 3 weeks late, you know why. It would still come out. Don't get me wrong, it'll still come out.
Plot twist: he just went to a burlesque show.
So it cuts to the real world where Yoshiki is in a fugue state attempting to drown Hikaru because Yoshiki is being possessed. Hikaru pushes a spirit out of Yoshiki. The spirit escapes. Yoshiki is worried. He feels bad about how that all went down. He's worried about his family a bit. Meanwhile, the exorcist is doing his exorcist things. He finds a small shrine of some sort, breaks it, bleeds on a bell, leaves it as a tracking device. he's doing his own crazy shit. All right, he's a little freak. We've just seen bits and pieces of what he's doing. But he's yet to enter main stage. Right. Currently, it's just been on the sidelines, and he's been prominent on the sidelines, but still just on the sidelines. And yeah, there we go. That's the 5 episodes that I watched.
Yeah.
And it just, oh my god, finally, who would have thunk that showing Remington, the gay horror mystery show, he would like it.
Because normally he's so against anything at most of the gay media I show him. The gay media has a higher hit rate than the non-gay media. Usually because it is more deliberately considered. Though not always. No.
Not always.
And how do you feel about the people who are going to be mad at us for covering this not in Halloween or Pride Month?
This very much feels like something we will revisit, and one of the few things that I'm okay with revisiting. So the real question is, will we revisit for Halloween or Pride Month?
And there's your answer, folks. And also, are we not allowed to talk about queer shows outside of Pride Month? Because I don't know, that doesn't feel great. Like it feels a little corporate to me.
Look, we're a couple of dumb motherfuckers who don't know shit about shit, but we ain't gonna be
We're not
corporate fake. We're not wealthy enough, all right?
No,
we
we're
don't
not.
have shareholders.
We don't got the money to be morally bankrupt. Yeah, like we're not going to participate in rainbow podcasting, as it were.
Anime out of context, broke enough to still have morals. And then like that'll be the clip they play if either one of us becomes rich and then takes a random hard right turn. I know which one of us is already planning on it, Mr. Red Pill, but
you had to bring some toxicity back into our lovely episode, didn't you?
I'm genuinely curious as to how many of the regular listeners, there's a good chunk of listeners, they don't listen to Patreon reads at the end, which is fine. That's fine. So they don't know just how firmly entrenched Red Pill Rollins is in the community.
That and Egg Shaun is also another popular one as of late.
Oh yeah, people have become so hyped over that. People are hyped. People find nothing more hilarious than one, you being a right-wing grifter, and two, you taking estrogen. Those are the top two.
Which are, quite frankly, opposite ends of the spectrum.
Well, yeah, one is going to cure the other, all right?
I don't like the connotation of that, Ram. There's a very scary connotation behind that.
Well, of course, that'd be where your head goes. That's Red Pill Rollins for you, folks.
Christ. So, by and large, Summer Hikaru Died. Pretty solid little show and story, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's firing on all cylinders. Good art, good animation, strong characters with strong relationships. It hasn't focused much on the side cast, but even still, every time the side cast is on, they are crafted quite mindfully and deliberately, which I appreciate. The mystery is compelling. The horror is fucked. It's all good shit. It's all good shit, dude.
And you know what definitely helps that aspect of it? It's a monthly chapter.
Oh yeah, that helps. That helps.
Yeah, it's also a web manga, funnily enough.
Huh.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't expect it. But yeah, no, it is surprisingly really good and well worth the watch and read. And when we do revisit it, hopefully the remaining 7 episodes will satisfy you as these first 5 did. But I guess the final question I need to ask, well, no, I haven't asked you about the MAL score. What do you think the MAL score for the show is right now, Rem?
Okay, all right, okay.
Keep in mind, currently airing, locked to Netflix, so, not everybody has that, especially with Netflix being, let's just say, greedy shitbags as of late. $36 for a streaming service, no thank you.
Oh, those always complicate the ratings, and then it's
horror, it's queer,
which also then further affect things. It's very pretty, so that boosts things, frankly, more than it often should, but in this case, at least it's in a direction I agree with. I'd be surprised if this isn't above an 8, then then the weebs fucked it. The question is how far above an 8, which is always a difficult question for me to answer because I'm not as experienced being up this high, right? And so, oh man, I always try to remember sort of like where the upper bound is so I can try to balance it out that way, but my memory is so shit.
I can tell you what the number 1 anime is scored on MAL right now if you like.
Yeah, that would be lovely.
The number 1 anime on MAL right now is currently scored at 9.3.
Okay, God, that's way higher than I expected. What the fuck?
Yeah, there are only 11 anime with a 9 or above.
That is crazy. Okay, all right. With that in mind, there's actually more wiggle room within the 8 than I anticipate.
Correct.
I'm going to say, quality-wise, where it should be is closer to like an 8.5, even following Weep standards. I think that queer stuff is going to have overall a neutral effect. Some people will be extra in on it. Some people are trash. Then some people will be weirdly disappointed because they just wanted boy love and they're like, why isn't this a cute, healthy relationship? And it's like, do you know what's going on?
I mean,
Um,
look, gang, there's so many BL smut stories out there that have a very similar plot progression, just minus the eldritch horror.
I think horror is going to be a decent demerit, which obviously I don't approve of, but that's east or west. It always is. It always is, and that's a shame. I think Netflix will be a little demerit, and then emo hair POV shot a tiny demerit on top of that. So if we balance that out, I think we're gonna go with 8.24. I'm gonna say it lost 0.2 just for being horror, which is unfortunate. It lost 0.5 or so for being Netflix, and it lost 0.1 for the emo hair POV shots.
The shot that you despise and think is incredibly stupid, but I'm sure most people...
Does anybody disagree? Is anybody looking at that shot and being like, oh man, God,
No, but
so
I think it's probably
good.
one of those shots that like people don't care about.
It's so fucking corny, dude. It's corny. And you know what this show doesn't need? Some random corny bullshit. I look, it was minor. It was points. I think I might have said 0.1, 0.0. No, it was 0.1. Yeah, it was 0.01. 0.01 and 0.05 for the Netflix thing, and then 0.2 for horror. There we go. Those were the demerits. So it ultimately ends up 8.24. I feel decent about that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, keeping in mind that it is still currently airing.
I didn't factor that in, but I don't know which direction I would use to factor that in, so I'll keep it.
Only 21,000 people have reviewed it so far, which is pretty low. But in
Gotta
fairness,
bump those numbers up.
Yeah, the season is very stacked with a lot of things people are excited that are back, as I mentioned before. And the Netflix barrier is definitely a strong barrier. But the Summer Hikaru Died is sitting nice and pretty at 8.16.
Okay, all right. I was close. I was close.
Yeah, and like the stat breakdown is actually super interesting with it because, you know, a lot of like Mal stats and rankings are fairly lopsided in terms of like a lot, or I like they lean a lot towards the middle of the chart, right? Is usually how it goes. Have a look at the stat breakdown for this one. It is incredibly top heavy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 30% of the votes give it an 8 out of 10. And then like an additional 40 are 9 and 10 out of 10s for only 6 episodes being out at this time. So this has the potential to just keep going up, essentially.
It's very promising. I will be so disappointed if it like just fucks the second half of the season. Assuming, is this going to be a 13 episode?
Only
season?
12. Only 12.
12. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and the manga is still ongoing, so it's not going to be like a full, complete story by the end. I assume, at least. But
my hope is that it's at least, you know, a full, complete arc. Yeah. I hope it reaches some kind of resolution and doesn't pull the bullshit.
Well, I mean, there is still like the overarching mystery of what the fuck Hikaru is. That's the one thing that hasn't really been fully addressed yet. Like, we have the beginnings of it, but that's still a weird goopy boy. That's still a weird goopy boy that we don't know much about. And generally speaking, the reviews are very much echoing a lot of what you said, minus the hair thing. Like, I haven't seen anybody comment on that.
Well, maybe they should.
Yeah.
It's the weakest part of the show. And
and the fact that that's what you consider
exaggerating.
The weakest. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a thing that's weaker. I think that may be the weakest part of the show.
Okay, I was very confused. There is I was skimming through some of the reviews, and one of them is just a not recommended review. Then I skimmed through the text, and it's like reviewer rating 10 out of 10. I'm like, I'm sorry? Wait a minute, what? Because like you can give it a number score and whether or not you recommend it. They gave it a 10 out of 10, but saying, hey, I don't recommend this, which is a wild thing to say.
Did they explain themselves?
What it essentially boils down to is like, hey, if you're not ready to look deeper inside yourself about what you feel and how you approach relationships, maybe don't watch this. Like if you're not comfortable confronting those feelings.
That's a crazy system to be like, it's so good. I wouldn't recommend it because y'all wouldn't get it. Y'all aren't ready for it.
Oh god, wow, this is rare. I see just a blatantly not recommended homophobic review. That's rare.
Oh man.
Usually they get like disappeared into oblivion. It also, the spelling is horrific, but they watch 3 series and like, this is gay? I hate it. That's impressive. That's impressively bad.
God damn it.
People are dumb. People are dumb. But yeah, generally speaking, beloved show, beloved manga. There's 1 or 2 people who wish the animation was a little better, but I think for, you know, a studio that did animations primarily for mobile games. I think they're doing a pretty damn good job so far.
Yeah, certainly.
And I'll send you some screen caps of the manga and you'll just see how like Ito-esque horror it gets. But it's a fantastic show, the series, and if you're at all interested in dark toxic situationships, then by all means, give it a go. Give it a watch. And we'll probably come back to it later. We'll have to see, but people are gonna want us to come back and finish it. So with that in mind, final question for you, Rem. Any chance you'd like to watch a little bit more of The Summer Hikaru Died?
Yeah, obviously I would enjoy that.
Yeah. All right. And with that, thank you all so much for tuning in. If you enjoy Rem really reflecting and just getting inside himself, if you catch my meaning, then please head on over to wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a review. They mean the world to us and we do read every single one. And if that is not enough for you, you can head on over to twitch.tv/anime out of context, where myself, Dylan, and Remington occasionally play video games very poorly. Final Fantasy III, going very well. I'm having a good time. Remington, you are our frontline fighter because the protagonists don't have real character in that game. So things are going well for you. You're hitting people with swords.
Hell yeah, brother.
And
what about Dylan?
Dylan, I made Dylan our red mage, which is like the hybrid caster fighter type. So he does a little bit of everything. Which feels appropriate for Dylan.
Yeah.
But the game also is very class swapping focused, so I'm gonna experiment with that later. And yeah, so come check us out there. And if that is still not enough for you, patreon.com/anime out of context, where you can access all kinds of lovely bonus material, including the opportunity to be thanked live on the podcast. So Rem, who we thinking this week?
All right, just a moment.
Oh, for the love of God.
All right, I needed to check genuinely past recordings to remind myself what the fuck I said. Because last week I malfunctioned and the file got deleted in my brain.
Yeah. You did get incredibly angry last week.
It's true. And it was like, I thought that maybe it was just like in a moment it disappeared. I'm pretty sure it was deleted to the point where even a lovely patron was like, you say send our regards. And I was like, is that what I say? And it didn't sound right in the mouth because the file was gone. It was just gone. But I confirmed. Yeah, that's
yeah.
That's it. So hey, extra special thanks, Sleepy, for the heads up. I fucking needed it. As always, we would like to send our regards to all of our Blind Bitch protagonists, as well as our magical girls, who we really appreciate. But moving on, we get to our yandere waifus, who are opening up their chests and asking us our opinions about raw chicken. And on that list, we have Yandere Neko, Wolfire56, Where's Our DBZ Review, You Ginger Fuck? Wes Kane, do the patron names seem a little obsessed with Shaun hormones? Yes, they do. But hey, aren't we all? Week 25 of using my Patreon name to request code Geese. Watching Requiem for Spoonman at 0.5 speed, totally good. Titan CNH, the Susanator. The Danish Viking will conquer the world with Renor Zoro as my navigator. That time I reincarnated as a podcast host and forced to weeb. Turban, Siraj Verdi, Super Zoo, Stacy's mom, Sparcy. Someone marry me, I need the tax benefits. Boy, do I have the eldritch monstrosity for you. Shaun wants to give Spoonman a thank and yank. Shaun voting red makes my Texan noodle al dente. Shaun thanks company.
I don't understand.
Here, this one's great. Shaun thinks company towns are the optimal economy. I like that because you didn't go the obvious route. All right, you didn't go the obvious route, and I appreciate it for it. Shaun the Red Pilled Rollins refuses to answer the question because too many jars of Bunny Girl Marin have been filled to count. Shaun ruined my happy sugar life when he became the world's best fiddler, diddler, and riddler all at once. Shaun, quit soaking with my grandma, please! Shaun blocked my cock. Sarah from the Shark plushie. Ryan Moody. Ross Palmer. Rhiannon Williams. Remington is right. Remind me when do we record again. Rem, we the people want you to talk more about Red Pill Rollins in the main parts of the episode. The Discord poll proves it, and hey, I did. Just a little bit, but I did it. Rem was right. We haven't watched enough ecchi, excuse me. Rem used the drums of liberation of free all weeps from bad anime. Rem doesn't completely hate my favorite shows. Red Pill Rollins stealing trans Shaun's estrogen.
Are we different characters now?
Inside him are two wolves. One of them is extremely conservative. The other one is trans.
Oh, criminy.
Red Venom, Professor Fox. Pro tips out of context has run out of things supposed to will come back soon. My Little Horse Rem. We're keep going with that, huh? Musical wonders why a bunch of English writing appears hovering in the air in front of her every time she speaks. Macaroni Uchisa, Lucky Stars, the King of Moe. Link Jokerl, Lidnerd98, King Rich Rock, Cassidy, Jax, Jam Hands, Jake Dent. I'm selling Omega Sean milk to make rent. I'm making Rem call Shaun ethnic slurs until you bring back the Chef no Musco tier. You suit peel? That's still the salt dick. That's still, don't worry. It's still,
Gotta make sure that we're not slurring too properly, you know?
Yeah. I showed my grandma Aunt Charlene. She watched it all by herself. Did I turn her into a weeb? I didn't take their lives. They were revived. I can't believe I made an account for this. How romantically available is your mom? God, Glenn Michael Dolan, G Bottom, aka Bear Trap. Sorry for not changing the name, but new plan. I think I need to Batman my town. Fern the Fern, Femrem and Schoolgirl Shaun in Estrogen Escapades, Episode 1, Budding Breast Bonanza. So it's it's an
God, I think I was allergic to that title. My God.
Farmer Weeb's Rem Choice of the Week, be in an anime isekai or anime rom-com. Oh, fuck.
I mean, if you're an isekai, good chance.
Am I the protagonist of the isekai? Because if I'm the protagonist, then the isekai. If I'm a side character, the rom-com. Because I ain't gonna be side character in the isekai. Oh, fuck no. That's not a life I want to live. I'm gonna die.
Die twice.
I'm gonna die, and then the protagonist will avenge me. But what the fuck do I give a shit about that?
I mean, in fairness though, Rem, you could be isekai'd into a ReZero situation where it's just nonstop dying and suffering.
Yeah, but I take my odds. If I'm protagonist, isekai. If I'm side character, rom-com. Fan died. Europe fact of the week. French isn't a real language. Estrogen helps reverse hair loss. Erica McCorkle. Editeb. That's all, folks. That's what you're going for. All right. I had to figure out what the fuck editeb was. Dylan Appreciation Day. Daniel Riot. Daddy Rum, tell me a bedtime story about John's Nut. Calderius. Cheese Monkey. Rock Hard for Geodudes. Why are you buying clothes at the soup store? Boring Siren. Blarf. Bento Kato. Buckshin. Anime. Amazing Muffin. Aishigachi. A moe piece of trash. And now we move on to the Boy Wizard tier. What are they gonna get this week, Shaun?
I wish I knew. I wish I knew. They're gonna get a chicken dish.
Perfect. At least we have Umbrasite.
It's not a real one, but you can have chicken sashimi.
Charcoon operate. Well, I think there's basically chicken sashimi. I think that is.
If there is, do not. You don't need me to tell you that. Just don't.
In Japan, there are multiple raw chicken dishes. That's just something I know, that they have multiple raw chicken dishes. Charcoon operator number 42.
You can have a fritada, which is a Filipino stew.
That mouse girl.
Adobo.
Thanks to another patron, Allfather now has to have burgers and couderes for the 4th.
Ayam bakar, which is a
Tails
Indonesian
Williams.
Malay style. They can have ayam keka.
Yes, you are. Spoonman the Aristocrat.
They can have bamboo chicken.
Silent Secondary.
Barbecue chicken.
Sean X Dillon Fan Club meets in the big hole today.
What the fuck? They can have beer can chicken, which is apparently a barbecue chicken dish using a partially filled can of beer placed in the chicken's cavity prior to cooking. The fuck?
There really is no point to it specifically being a beer can. It really could just be any can. It is just a way of keeping the bottom of the chicken off of your cooking rack. Basically just using it as a tiny little throne that you shove up the chicken's cloaca. It helps ensure the whole bird is more evenly cooked, and I've seen debate whether or not having beer in the can does anything. If you're cooking hot enough to boil the beer, it's a problem, and if you're cooking long enough for the beer to significantly evaporate enough to flavor the bird, then you're cooking your chicken for too fucking long. There's the idea that the steam rising from the beer inside the can will help keep the inside of your chicken moist and everything. If you are cooking your chicken long and hot enough for the inside to need steam to stay moist, then the outside is going to be fucking charcoal.
See, I was hoping that it was just beer battered chicken or something, but nope, that ain't it.
That ain't it.
Sammy K is here to remind you that you just lost the game.
You can have some buffalo wings.
I love me a good buffalo wing. I can't resist.
Eh.
Roscoe.
Just some chicken bulldog.
Rem still needs to watch Bandori Eats Maigo and Ave Mujiga, and or else Kasumi will keep singing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Butter chicken.
Powersaw waits for Crumsluts Bakery to reopen and try the RPR gingerbread cookies with MAGA gumdrop buttons. It's gumdrop buttons, of course.
I see. You can have chicken and waffles.
Monogatari is everything you ever said you want in an anime. This week, are we watching the freaking Watanare or not?
Chicken cacciatore.
Mike.
A chicken curry puff. Interesting.
Miguel Delion.
Chicken fingers.
I'd like to start a petition to replace the word brat with kudere.
Chicken Kiev.
Hidden Otaku.
Chicken pot pie.
Finally, Rem could have tits to match his ass, said Stidero.
Chicken tikka masala.
Dom and I, not drunk this time, watch Trigun because it's fun.
This will not surprise you. This is a Scottish dish called cock a leaky soup. Which I assume is a chicken and leek soup.
Carver 271.
Coronation chicken.
And Beethoven 1201.
Flying Jacob.
And now we move on to the inappropriate Joey Wheeler tier, where Shaun as Joey Wheeler. I have to come up with a better one than what I'm thinking. Is the thing.
While you're thinking, I'm gonna run and blow my nose because I'm not.
The audacity of this man to abandon me at the end of the recording. We're so fucking close.
I'm back.
Where Shaun Rollins will choose a member of, as Joe Wheeler, a member of Anime Out of Context that you get to put your hand inside their chest cavity, and I will tell you what it feels like.
I mean, that works that there are only 3 of them, I guess, but...
There are, so it's perfect. On that list we have, Shaun, I'm like a haunted house. I'll make you scream when you're in me.
I guess you can have Shaun, because clearly that's what you want.
And what he feels like is if when you suck candy canes to a sharp tip and ice cubes.
I'm pointy and sharp inside?
And cold, but minty. And you're minty on the inside. And next we have Shaun Yellow Rapid Rollins, fastest piss in the West.
You know what? You seem like the kind of person who would love to get inside Remington.
And inside of me, it feels like wet Felton Cheerios. And last but not least, we have Follow Anime Out of Context on Blue Sky. How much of a weeb are you? What's MRM stand for? Ubau.
You know what? You can have Dylan. Yeah, no, I'm sure that's a surprise.
How shocking. And getting up inside his chest cavity, what it feels like is it feels like a purring cat biting your hand. Thank you all for tuning in. If you want to reach out for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, you can send an email over onto animeoutofcontext@gmail.com.
Once again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. We love and appreciate you very, very much. And as always, don't fuck your sister.
Do 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 do.